Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Tesla had a good day today, but we do have a big catalyst coming tomorrow that could shake the markets up a bit. And here in this video, we will discuss that in depth, my expectations, what could happen for a stock like Tesla. I will tell you, we are one really good day away from a new all-time high in Tesla, or two pretty good days away from a new all-time high. I believe this rally in Tesla is about to take itself to the next level. I'll discuss why that is, what's happening, get everyone caught up to speed, and I think the move could be pretty aggressive here, especially as we leave the weakness in September, the seasonal weakness pattern. So we got a lot to get into. Ladies and gentlemen, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already. Check out that link down below in the description of today's video. If you want to come join the trading community, this portfolio that was set up for the trading community is up 177.72% this year. We are outperforming, I believe, every single hedge fund and institution in existence this year. It's not a guarantee. Performance is not guaranteed going to continue at this kind of a pace, and well, what we're doing is we're being early to investing in high quality AI stocks, because a lot of people don't realize that you actually make money when you buy a stock. You don't make money when you sell a stock. You make money if you buy a good stock at the right price. That's when you make money. You make money on the buy, not on the sell. So we try to identify the opportunities early and get involved in those. Check it out if you guys would like to. Link down below in the description of this video. That is the sponsor of today's episode. Now, if you do join, be careful to read the prompts and how to actually join the group. I get a lot of people that sign up and then just don't read the prompts. You got to read the prompts and follow through to actually get access. Again, keep in mind, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not a financial planner. Okay, now that that disclaimer is out of the way, let's get into Tesla stock tomorrow and what could be coming next. So among other catalysts today, the main catalyst, I would say, that pushed Tesla higher is the institutional world actually starting to realize the opportunity behind Tesla. And this is important. It started really with Tesla's last earnings. You started to see, and I've reported on this for a long time, option activity get very bullish in Tesla. We started to see 13F filings ever since Tesla's last earnings that started to show more positions being taken by Wall Street. Okay, this is when Tesla was in the high, like 280s, low 300s, right? After Tesla's last earnings, like 295 to, 320 or so. You were seeing a lot of positions being taken right after Tesla's earnings. Okay, well, that has continued and only amplified as of recently. Now, here's what is starting to change from last week. We had that big analyst note from Ben Callow with Bard, raising his price target 71%, calling Tesla a real-world physical AI leader in robotics and AI in the real world. This was really the first big analyst to create that narrative. And now you're seeing another analyst, Piper Sandler analyst Alex Potter today, that increased his Tesla price target to $500 from $400 following a trip to China. They're starting to chase Tesla at this point. What he said in this note, adding on to what Ben Callow said, is creating a very different narrative for Tesla into the end of this year and 2026. For the existence of Tesla, really, people have viewed Tesla as a really good auto company with really good manufacturing, really good margins, really good software, but not an AI company, not a robotics company. People are talking a lot less about the car business and a lot more about robotics and AI. Piper Sandler today says, quote, after meeting with Chinese EV makers, we can see why Elon Musk respects these fast followers so much. Indeed, vertically integrated Chinese OEMs may be Tesla's number one competitive threat. But when it comes to real-world AI, these companies look to Tesla for guidance, not the other way around. In the words of one company, quote, without Tesla going from 0 to 1, we can't go from 1 to 100. Bottom line, Tesla remains our top idea for investing in autonomous vehicles and robotics. Alex added, we think the catalyst path matters more to the valuation than 2026 estimates. Basically, that's saying he thinks the catalyst for robotaxi, for robotics, matters more to Tesla's valuation than delivery estimates for next year, or even EPS estimates for next year, or margin estimates for next year. That's a big statement in and of itself, because that is not how Tesla has been valued or looked at in the past. He says, it now seems the FSD V14 will be released any day. We think this will prompt a higher multiple. This is literally saying he thinks FSD V14 being released is going to cause Tesla stock to rally aggressively. That's what he's saying here. He says any day FSD V14 is coming out and Tesla stock's going to explode. That is a massive catalyst literally coming at any moment. It wouldn't even surprise me if some of the rally in the last week has been in anticipation of V14. What I really mean by this is hedge funds and institutions, they know things before we do. Okay? They get news before we do. They know people at Tesla. Okay? They just know things before we do. I've been very accurate on this channel spotting unusual activity. Okay, what I mean by that is when there's unusual activity, a lot of option activity from hedge funds and institutions, stock goes up for no reason, something like that. 9 times out of 10, a big catalyst comes out a day or two later. It's no surprise. There's a lot of shady shit that goes on Wall Street. I would not be shocked here if some of the rally in Tesla the last couple of days, or maybe even partially today's move, has to do with someone knows V14 is coming out soon, and they know how big of a lockstep improvement it's going to be for autonomous driving. Now, in option activity today from hedge funds and institutions, you have very positive option activity. You have 219 different trades totaling $137.51 million with a positive order value of 81%. So again, you've been in the high 80% range for the last week. Today is a little bit lower, but still, out of 5 trades, 4 of them are bullish today. That is really heavily skewed in the positive direction. Again, even considering Tesla has went up a lot in the last week or two, right? They're chasing at this point. And I think this is really getting to that next level where we could see a pretty dramatic move to new all-time highs pretty soon. Now, I also want to highlight this today. Short interest of free float at 2.86%, $34.24 billion sold short in Tesla. Short sellers went down about $800 million today. It was over $1 billion at one point today. So there was quite a bit of short covering. Today, 3.91 million shares were covered on. Along with option activity, when you get a lot of shorts that start to cover like this, it also signifies someone may know something out there, okay? Someone might have some kind of information that maybe we do not, okay? So again, don't be surprised if we do get big news very soon for Tesla. 4 million shares being covered in a single day is quite a lot, especially when the stock is $400 and let's say $35. That's $1.74 billion worth of short positions being covered today. Someone does not want to be short in Tesla anymore. and that's noteworthy. And honestly, whether it is V14 or Robotaxi getting into a new, city, getting approval in a new city, or maybe in multiple cities soon, whether it is the cheaper, lower price Tesla coming to market very soon, there is a lot of upcoming catalysts over the next 3 months that are going to drive this stock to new all-time highs and much further than that. Okay, as this narrative has shifted from Tesla being a car company to Tesla being an AI company, it's hard to put a valuation cap on Tesla because the AI opportunity is just so massive. It's not like you're selling cars in an auto market where it's very competitive and margins are low, and you can only sell so many vehicles a year. No, robotaxi, robotics, as Wall Street starts to focus on that, the opportunity is just so large you can't put a value cap on it. Tesla could go to $1,000 per share, and you're going to have people today that could justify that valuation. You're going to have some people that disagree with that, but you can like see how Tesla could work into these valuations, right? So I think again, here very soon, Tesla's going to make a run to new all-time highs. Once we break new all-time highs, that's when technically like the new cycle starts, right? That's when a lot of people are going to say, okay, boom, we've broken new all-time highs. Then we get an additional rally likely from there that's going to send us well into the 500s. And I think Tesla could be anywhere between 550 and 650 by the end of this year. Pretty reasonably. I mean, even to get to 650 from here, bear with me. Whether it's, again, robotaxi catalyst or lower price vehicle catalyst, or maybe October 2nd delivery numbers. That's a 50% rally from here. You start to get a market that turns more bullish seasonally, October, November, December. Start to get some more positive news for Tesla. Wall Street is underweight Tesla. There's a very large short position in Tesla. Retail investors are more underweight Tesla now than I've seen in quite a while. It's not going to be difficult to get a large rally. Even a 30% rally from here puts Tesla at $565 per share. It's well within the range of possibilities over the next 3 months. Okay, now tomorrow we do have a big catalyst, okay? Tomorrow's big catalyst, there's a couple of them. So Fed Bowman speaks at 9 o'clock in the morning. At 9:45, S&P Global Composite PMI. PMI stands for Purchasing Managers Index, so it's not hard data, but it's like, think of Nike's, executive manager or something, right? They do this like survey that puts down their expectations going forward for these certain industries, manufacturing and services, okay? And the composite, which is basically in its entirety. So it's high level like officials doing these surveys, right? Managers, right? Purchasing Managers Index. So it's really just expectations. Expectations tend to precede reality. So you tend to get people that expect, let's say, inflation, and then inflation comes, or people expect deflation and deflation comes, okay, over the, medium term. So that's going to be coming out. Expect the markets to move around 9:45 on that. At 10 o'clock, you have Fed Bostic that speaks. 10 o'clock, you also have Richmond Fed Manufacturing Shipments Index, and Fed Services Revenues. But around 12:30 tomorrow is likely the big catalyst, which is a speech from Fed Jerome Powell. Fed Jerome Powell is going to give a speech. I don't know how much different it's going to be from the last, Fed meeting, which was last week. Like, does Powell say anything that's new? Does he reiterate a lot of what was said last week? If he does, that's probably good news at this point, right? Because we did have a couple Fed speakers today that came out and it was a very mixed bag. Fed Moran said he wants to see multiple 50 basis point rate cuts from here. Fed Bostic said he doesn't really want to cut rates anymore. couple other Fed officials said, maybe we cut rates, maybe we don't. So what does Powell say? Does Powell say there's room to cut rates this year? Probably. But he's going to continue to be, quote unquote, data dependent. Although they kind of threw that out of the official language, they're still going to be, quote unquote, data dependent. And whatever Powell says, mixed with September seasonals, can be important for a company like Tesla with a high beta, very interest rate sensitive, okay? But on the flip side, again, if Powell doesn't sound like they're in a rush to cut rates, that there's a problem out there, that's actually a good thing, because that means the economy is doing just fine. So there is good and bad associated with that potentially. And honestly, I think we're going to care a lot less about the Fed after September. I think October, November, December, again, the data is going to be important, but it's a trade-off. If the economy gets weak, that's not good. But we get rate cuts, which is a slight offset to that. If the economy is strong and we don't have inflation, which is the best case scenario, we get rate cuts with a strongish economy as inflation falls. Inflation is the big picture. That's the thing that's really important for this market. Because again, rate cuts are neither bullish or bearish. It is the reason why the Fed is cutting rates. Now, we do have the Fed's preferred measure of inflation that comes out on Friday, PCE. That's going to be important. We're expecting a pretty tame number. So that's could give the Fed more confidence to continue cutting rates. We're expecting a rate cut in October at the next Fed meeting and in December. So any data that sways those odds short term could move markets. Powell's speech tomorrow could sway those odds. So short term, again, that could move the markets. But inflation is what really matters here. Also on Friday, we have personal spending numbers, which is going to give us a little bit better of an insight to how the economy is doing, which is going to be important. So again, let me know your thoughts on this down below in the comment section. But I think specifically for Tesla, there's so many positive catalysts stacking up. And there is this unusual activity. Again, 4 million shares being covered today. The VIX is up 3%. Pretty unusual. The last couple of days in option activity, 86% positive order value. Like, the flows are very positive. Tesla stock in a technical breakout. Above 420, you're really just at any moment waiting for that exponential move to new all-time highs. So I think we're kind of in a wait and see mode with a heavy bias to the upside. So let me know your thoughts on this down below in the comment section. Hit the like button as well as subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already. Have a great rest of your day. Check out that link down below in the description of today's episode. If you want to come join the trading community, keep in mind, nothing said in this video or in the trading community is a financial recommendation. I could be wrong. Like, there's a chance of that. Shit could hit the fan and things could go bad. Government shutdown, something to watch. I tend to be optimistic. I tend to think things are going to go well until they don't. So keep that in mind as well. Have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one.